Usman Mukhtar, a pleasure to have you here. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Your fans have been inundating my inbox saying, when are you inviting Usman in for an interview?
Wow, that man again. Like it's amazing how people have shown their love and support over the time that Anaa started airing. It's amazing and it's kind of surreal. Like
How much has life changed because of Anaa?
a lot. I mean, I've been working really hard for the past 12, 13 years. Acting, making movies, making shorts, directing, but I mean, what Anna's done for me in the span of a year, it's crazy, it's insane.
You know, I almost feel like I knew your name in the background because I'd seen Bochi and I'd seen Janna and I knew you were part of those movies. But really, the echo of your voice and your name has amplified over the past summer, I would say. Is it hard to come to terms with how quickly things have moved on for you?
I mean, it's really not. It's like, I mean, it's more like it's about time, because I've worked really hard. I mean, there were times when I would actually think I've struggled so much for so many years and nothing has come about. Like I've been working so hard, but like I'm not getting my due share of respect and recognition. And I mean, when this happened, I actually, I somehow, and I somehow felt like, oh, thank God, finally,
Well, let's rewind then, because like you said, there was many years of struggle and there was so much effort that you put into making a career in the Pakistani entertainment industry. You know, when you were setting out on this path, how many people were there around you saying, look, you're going into an industry that isn't stable, that's still finding its feet, certainly when it comes to film. Do you really want to do this? Are you sure about this?
I mean, when I started off, at that point, even cinema hadn't gone digital. It was still shooting on beta cams and stuff. And I wanted to become a filmmaker more than an actor. And when I wanted to do this, at that point, my family was like, no, you can't. I mean, this is not a respectable profession, and we don't want you to do this. And I had to fight with them over span of like 6-7 years.
When you look from an exterior point of view at the Pakistani entertainment industry and you see the instability there when it comes to having a livelihood, basically, can you see how your family might have been concerned about how you'd be able to sustain a career there?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're passionate about something, like I personally feel like if my kid is passionate about something, I will let them do it. I let them fall, I let them get up. I let them learn that on their own, because that's part of life, right? If you don't let them do that, if you make them live a sheltered life, they won't be able to learn, So I feel like what I've learned through this journey is something that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
So when your family were telling you not to do this and you decided to go ahead despite that and try and make a career here, what were the sort of hurdles that you were facing?
I always ran away from commercial cinema and commercial, like stuff. I never want to do dramas.
Right.
It's ironic,
Yes,
but
of course.
I never wanted to do dramas. I wanted to do films, and I wanted to do parallel cinema. Growing up, I was a big horror movie fan, so I wanted to make horror films. And I mean, things changed. I mean, we didn't have an industry, and by the time the industry kind of started growing at that point, I mean, it was really hard to find budgets, and me with my ego that I'm not going to do this film and I don't want to direct this film and the producer's calling the shots. I want to do my own creative thing, and I don't want the producer to call the shots, because how the commercialism kind of takes over, and like you're like, oh, put an item song in this, and I don't want to do that. So I didn't do that, and then I realized time's passed by and I haven't done anything.
How hard is it to get your big break in the Pakistani entertainment industry?
It is very hard. It's very hard. But I do feel like you need to work hard and you need to believe in what you want to do, and eventually you'll get there. It'll take time, but you will get there.
So when you say it's very hard, how did you get Janna then, which was your first major movie?
Janna was actually an accident because I was actually supposed to, the producers of Janna, they kind of offered me a film which was Parchi at that point. Parchi was supposed to be made before Janna.
Right.
And they said, we want you to act in Parchi. And I said, okay, but then I think there was a gap of like 4-5 months. And then I found out that they're not doing Parchi, they're doing this other movie. And at that point, we had, they had locked the producers and everything. And they were like, we're doing this movie. And we want you to act in this one, and we'll introduce you in this movie, and then you'll act in Parchi. So I said, okay, fine. And then when I was pitched the role, it was a completely different role. And then I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I think about 2 weeks before the shoot had to start, they sent me the final draft, which had significantly reduced version of the role that I played.
Yeah.
And so I had made the commitment, so I said, okay, I'll do it. And that's how Janna came about. And then once I did Janna, then I did Parchi, and then, for a while I didn't work.
Before you had that conversation with the producers of Janna and before Janna happened, what kept you motivated? I mean, we're talking here about the span of 5 or 6 years that you were already in the industry, waiting for that big break, trying to get on screen. How do you keep yourself motivated during that period?
I didn't. I was actually in a really bad state. I'd gotten really fat. I was around 138 kgs, and I was just taking some small time like direction gigs and doing that and making money.
Was there ever a thought about giving up, or was there ever a thought about going home?
A lot of times. I did, and I also thought maybe I've messed up. I should have listened to my parents, and I should have done a normal 9 to 5 and that kind of stuff. But I mean, thank God I didn't.
So, you went through that process of Janna and you went through the process of Parchi as well. But one would imagine that once you've got 2 films under your belt, and certainly 2 successful films under your belt, that the work should start coming through, or there should be more opportunities. But you said that you were waiting for work after Parchi.
Yes, unfortunately I was. Apparently there was a word in the market that I'm very difficult to work with.
Are you difficult to work with, Usman?
No, I'm not. Surprisingly, I mean, the people who work with me, they know that. I'm a very easygoing person. Like you can make me sit on the floor and make me work, and I do it as long as the work is good, the script is good. I'm just all about the content. I mean, the script has to be good. But apparently, like, I heard from a lot of sources that there was, this kind of stuff going around. So I was and for a very long time I didn't get a call.
When you hear that people are saying negative things about you or talking negatively about your work ethic or attitude, that must take a toll on your confidence, on your self-belief as well, or how do you get over that?
I mean, it did, and I was actually pretty stressed out. I was like, what do I do? I mean, I've had the opportunity. I did what I had to do. And nothing happened. Like, I'm not getting a lot of calls. And I also thought, because this is also happening because of, me not moving to Karachi, because I'm from Islamabad and I refused to move to Karachi because of my mother. She's not well. So, I was like, also that might be the problem, because, if you're in Karachi, people know you're available, you're in the city. If they need you, they'll call you. But I wasn't there, so I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I get a call one day from Hum, and these guys are like, well, we want you to act in this drama serial. At that point, they offered me a different drama. That was supposed to be me and Hania, right. Fun fact, which was a drama that Sajal and Anaa are in now,
Dil Mera,
which is supposed to air, which is
the one that's on right now?
Khalil Rahman's.
Okay, that's not out yet.
Yeah. So that was the one that I was given the script of, but because of some issues with our dates and stuff and all of that, that didn't go through. And then we were offered Kainat, which was that was a working title, which is Anaa.
Right.
And when they offered the role to me, I mean, I like, you know, is something that I had never done because I've always done comedy, and this guy is very serious. And I mean, I'm glad that I did it because I also made a point that I'm not going to do comedy for a while because I also kept hearing things about me that, oh, he's not an actor, he's a comedian.
During that period, did you wonder about whether if you'd done things differently, whether work would have come faster? Because, you know...
Sure, yes.
What were those things that you thought, I should have done this differently? Or
I was like, maybe I should have moved to Karachi, maybe as soon as Parchi ended, or maybe while Parchi was being released, I should have gone and I should have taken up projects and stuff.
Is there a lot of emphasis on being seen in the right places or mingling with the right circles?
That is, but I absolutely disagree with that.
But does it exist in Pakistan?
It exists anywhere. I mean, you have to be at the right place, the right time. You need to know the right people. You need to socialize with the right kind of people. And that gets you a lot of work. To me, it's absolutely disappointing. I think you should get work on merit, not on your social skills and how you can talk up the producer or whatever. But apparently that is something that's there. And I can't do that, man. Like, I have the worst social skills ever. Like, I can't talk to somebody I don't know, you know. I get really awkward and I make the other person awkward as well.
Do you feel like the industry's maybe feelings towards you or the way that they've responded to you has changed after Anaa? Is your work speaking for itself now?
The way we shot Anaa, it was literally like a family working together. Not for a second did we actually think that we're working. It was so much fun. We had a ball in Chitral, we had a ball in Islamabad, and actually when it ended, for a while we had like withdrawals because it was ended and we weren't spending time together, and we weren't, you know, because when we were in Chitral, when we weren't shooting, we were playing Ludo because there was a common room in Chitral, and we were staying at this place called Hindu Kush Heights, and in the rooms we didn't have televisions.
Right.
Because the owner believed that if you have a TV in your room, you wouldn't go out and you wouldn't kind of see you wouldn't explore the city. So they had like a common room where we could go and watch TV. So at night we would go there and we'd start playing Ludo. And that was so much fun, and so it was amazing. And I met the most amazing people, and you know, those people were really, I never felt for a second that I'm an outsider.
People particularly liked your partnership with Nirmal on screen as well. Yeah. Did you know Nirmal from before? How did that equation come about?
We've been friends for a while, and Nirmal was one of the reasons I did the drama because she convinced me. Right. She was like, you should, I said, I was actually like, I don't know how I'll do this role. And she's like, no, you'll do it, you have to do it, because she was also doing it. And, you know, we found out that we were, so, I mean, but at that point, Nirmal wasn't supposed to do Iza. It was
she was supposed to play Hanya's role.
Nirmal was supposed to play Hanya's role.
Do you get frustrated by the way Pakistani dramas are marketed? Because they do always market dramas in a particular way, so that one pair is more prominent than the other on the posters or things like that. Is that frustrating?
But the thing is, they didn't even promote it like that. It's just that people assume because two people are really well known and two people are not really well known.
Relatively new.
So, I mean, if they're new, then they can't be parallel leads. Even if you see the promotion, it's like that. I mean, I think by the end of it, Ultima Shaniza had more scenes than. So I don't think even a hum marketed it that way. It's just that people assume that because they're new, it would be. I mean, they have to be supporting characters. Even though when they were pitched to us and when we read the scenes. They were supposed to be parallel leads.
You know, quite often when an actor or actress gets their big break, like Anaa in this instance, there isn't pressure until this point because you're just going about being yourself and doing your work to the best of your ability. But when you have a success like this, a lot of people say that there's pressure now to maintain that momentum.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Do you feel that?
Very much, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize how big Anaa had become. And now, with my second drama, I'm freaking out because I'm like, I don't know if it'll be that good.
What is your second drama?
It's called Sabath. It's with the same director, Shahzad Kashmir, who directed Anaa. And I only did it because of Shahzad Bhai, because he's such a great person, and I had so much fun working with him. So it's with him, and Sarah Khan's in it. There's a new kid, really nice actor, Amir Gilani, he's in it. Mavra is in it. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
And is the experience as good as the experience of Anaa?
Man, I don't think anything will.
But that's the thing, a lot of people say they're spoiled by their first big break because nothing is ever quite as good.
No, it's not even my big break. It's just the experience that I had with those people. Hania I've known since our first film together.
Yes.
So Hania and I are like, really good friends. So, and we pick on each other all the time. So it was so much fun working with her again. And then Shahzad and I became like really tight while we were shooting. Tara, Simi Auntie, Irfan Khusar Saab, all these people, we had such a great time. So with this drama, the thing is, a lot of us, the cast members aren't shooting together. Right. There are different, so I don't know. It is fun. This one is also fun, but it's not as fun as Anaa.
Is there ever a fear, once you've had a success like Anaa, that you'll have that long break again, that you'll have that time where you're sitting at home and the phone's not ringing? Do you get those kinds of anxieties even now, or is it because you've gone into your second drama
soonish? I've been through really bad patch, so I'm prepared. I think I'm prepared for anything now.
And has your behaviour changed? I mean, certainly considering that you said that after Barchi, you heard that there was whispers in the industry that you were a difficult person to work with. Are you even more careful about the way you behave with people within the industry?
So I have a very strict, like, if I like somebody, I'm friends with them. If I don't like somebody, I'm very professional with them. Like if I don't like them, but if they're my director and they'll tell me do this, I'll do it and I'll go home. And I strictly believe that my personal life is my personal life. When I'm done with work, my personal life is going to be my personal life. I don't believe in, showing everything.
It's interesting you say that, Usman, because we live in a time and age where people are expected to show and share everything. People want to know what a celebrity's real life is actually like, what they do when they go home. Is it difficult to adapt to that?
I do that. Like on my Instagram,
You're very open, actually.
Yeah,
on
I
Instagram.
am. But I don't like to make things up. Like if I'm at home, I'm going to dress up in my shorts and my t-shirt. I'm going to show that. Yeah. I don't like to wear,
But isn't it part of the job? Like, going to events, being seen as a celebrity, attending award shows, aren't those things all part of the job?
Maybe they are, but not to me. Like, my job as an actor is to just go out there and perform and then come back. And if I feel like going to an event and being seen, I'll do that. But if I don't feel like it, what I feel like this industry is great, but it takes away one thing that you have. You can't be normal. I'd like to live a very normal life.
But then is acting the right profession? Especially
acting.
But especially in a subcontinent, and I talk here about Pakistan and India, where acting comes part and parcel with being a celebrity, and celebrity comes part and parcel with having your life on public display almost.
Yeah. It could be like if I'm home and if I go live, they know what I'm doing. I keep posting videos of my mother, her scolding me and stuff like that. That's fine, but I wouldn't like to pretend to be somebody else.
Sure.
For those people.
Do you feel like there are enough roles for men in the Pakistani television industry to keep you stimulated? Because the Pakistani television industry is seen to be a medium typically that focuses on women and women's roles, and men are, for a lot of people, considered to be quite two-dimensional in Pakistani dramas. Do you feel stimulated by the work?
Creatively, man, I really want to, I still haven't done a role that I really, really enjoy doing.
What sort of role are you looking for?
So I really want to do something that a character that's really, really dark.
Have you seen anything like that in Pakistani television that you think is the kind of role you'd want to do?
I'm not saying that I would have. Bilal is a great actor.
Cheek?
Yeah. I think Bilal is a great actor. I think he's one of the good actors that we have in Pakistan. But something like the character that he did in Cheek, I would love to play Javed Iqbal, the serial killer. I'd love to do that.
Do you think the audiences are ready for something like that? Because I feel like even when roles are being written that are challenging for performers, at the same time, the stories don't necessarily always do those performances justice.
That's one thing. I mean, I think we need to start giving our actors character roles. We need to start it. I think it's about time. We need to now, we need to show, and our actors also need to take up challenging characters, because I think it's high time that we start proving, because I do feel that we're very superficial. We will give like, oh, that guy is a very good looking actor, give him the lead role. But now, like, let's test the acting skills of actors and give them roles that are challenging. I do feel like I really want to play certain characters that are very challenging, that aren't one-dimensional, that test you as an actor.
Do you think that the Pakistani entertainment industry, particularly the TV industry, is going to get to that point? I mean, certainly when you look at the neighbouring country, India, or when you look towards the West, and we recently saw Joaquin Phoenix play Joker, which was incredible. It was an amazing performance.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah, it's outstanding. But I don't see anything even remotely similar happening in Pakistan.
I really hope, man. I really hope one day this happens. I've seen some of the dramas that were, like Udari had.
Ehsan had a great role.
Yeah, and I think Bhola.
Imran Ashraf's role. Yeah.
I mean, that
even
was a
Zahid
character.
Ahmed is doing a role in Ishq Zain
I haven't
right
seen
now.
that, but I mean, I've heard about it. So I mean, these characters. So I think we're getting there, but we need I feel like it's going to take us time, but eventually we might start writing roles.
Usman, such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you, Haroon.